Hey everybody, it's Champion Chat-Ep.2. I'm your host, Andrea Hall, and I need to know where you're watching from. So in the comments, let me see what city you're watching from. We're broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube right now. And November is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. I don't know if you knew that or not. But it is. And the color for pancreatic cancer awareness is purple. So I've got my purple for today's episode. All right. So pancreatic cancer is something that's kind of been in the news a lot lately over the last couple of years. I know I hadn't heard about it a lot until I started hearing celebrities pass away from it. So what celebrity do you know who's been in the news, that's been talked about, or someone famous who has had pancreatic cancer? Do you know anybody? I've got a couple people I can think of. We've got a Supreme Court Justice. I know somebody knows who I'm talking about. RBG. Jeopardy, the host, yes. Elaine said Alex Trebek from Jeopardy. How about a soul singer? Somebody from, Chadwick Boseman, that's right. Auntie Laura. What about RESPCT? Aretha. Yes. All right. So there's somebody who was close to me who also had pancreatic cancer. Maybe not quite as famous, but my mom, Jocelyn, also had it. So we're going to talk about that and her whole journey. And I also have a very, very, very special guest. Oh, Michael Landon. That is correct. Oh, what about Footloose, right? What's his name? Patrick Swayze? I think him too, yeah. All right, so I have a very special friend who also has a connection to this topic. And we've known each other for a couple of years now. And we're going to bring her on the screen and we're going to have a little chat. And you guys can chime in the comments while we talk. But this is my friend, Erin Schmer. Everybody give her a icon hand clap in the comments. Welcome, Erin. Welcome. Yes. So a little bit about Erin. Let's talk about Erin. Erin is married to Daniel. And they have a daughter, Adela, who's 4. So in my mind, she's named Adela because when she was born, she started singing Hello from the Other Side.
I was under a lot of medication when I was born, and I kept telling people that she was singing when she was but that was probably the medication talking. But no, she was named from a children's book, a Tommy DePaulo. It's called Adelita, which means like little Adela. And I loved that book when, I used to read it to my nanny kids. And so I just had it in my mind for like 50 years.
All right. You weren't singing Adele when you were in labor. Okay, got it.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Okay. All right, so fun facts about Erin that you all don't know, but you're about to find out about. Erin loves Disney, like
True.
to another level. Like Aaron has worked at Disney. Aaron got married. Was it at Magic Kingdom? Like at the
Um, we
actual castle?
got married in the wedding pavilion. You can see the castle in the background, but it's not actually in Magic Kingdom. They
Okay.
they do allow weddings there, but it's like before the park opens, and it's like 12 people, and it's not very like feasible to have it in the park, but
Yeah.
you see the castle from it. So from where I got.
Yeah. So how many times would you say you've been to Disney World in your whole life?
Oh, well, okay, so I had never gone until I was 19 years old, and it was
Hmm.
because when I was growing up, all my friends would go every single year, and I never thought I would ever see it. And then when I was in college, my friends were like, "Do you want to go to Disney World?" I'm like, "Yes, I have been waiting for this moment my whole life." And so I absolutely loved it. And then I did the college program and worked in Epcot, and then fell in love with it. So now we go maybe a couple times a year, I guess. And I still have friends there. So I know, but like I didn't pay to get in for like 10 years. So
That definitely helps.
yeah, yeah. So I probably wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. But so yeah, it's been fun. And then um, got married there because I was trying to think of any other place that would have been as much fun as Disney, and I couldn't think of it. So I was like, let's do it. And
Of course.
my dad actually, he had only gone one time, and it was right before I got engaged, and he like thought it was so cool and stuff. So when I said, "Hey, what if I had my wedding there?" He was like, "Yeah, that'd be fun," But then ended up getting pancreatic cancer, and he was not able to go, which is so sad. But he was very
Yeah.
supportive of us having it there, so that was nice.
Yeah. So let's talk about our parents. So your dad and my mom. So I'll start. So my mom was diagnosed in November of 2012. I was very pregnant at the time with my second child, who I was going to give birth to in 2 months after, so in January. So by the time he was born in January, she had already started treatment. She had already started chemo,
Hmm.
and she ended up uh, living 13 months, which in pancreatic cancer terms is like really a long time.
Yeah.
13 months. So my son was born in January, and then she passed in December of the same year in 2013.
Wow.
She was 58. She wasn't that young. I mean, she wasn't that old, I'm
Not
trying to
old at
say.
all. Yeah.
Not old. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your dad and kind of like his diagnosis journey and all of those things.
Yeah. So for a while, he started to feel sick, but he kept getting misdiagnosed. So, like, when one time he asked me to take him to the hospital because he said he had like really bad heartburn, which I didn't know that was like he was in a lot of pain and stuff. And so they treated it like it was heartburn, which is kind of weird. And then at one point they were thinking, oh, maybe it's like diabetes or something, which is weird too. He was always kind of in shape, but I know sometimes that happens. And then one day he called me. He goes, "Well, I have it." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "I have pancreatic cancer." And so then, once you hear that, it's kind of, like you said, you don't have a lot of time left, I guess. So I can't remember the exact timeline, but I think he was diagnosed in 2010, and then he passed away Christmas Eve of 2011. So that,
And
so
how old was he?
he was 67.
Still not
So
very, very
yeah, not
old.
very old at all. He definitely didn't. He definitely wasn't ready to go. He wanted, you know, he felt like he had a lot of life to live. And
Right.
at one point the doctors actually had told him that he had like a rare kind of pancreatic cancer, and they actually alluded that he might live like a lot longer than most, and that ended
Mm-hmm.
up not being true. But I remember how like excited he was when he was told he might actually have like years left, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but it was not accurate. So
So
yeah,
the symptoms mimic other things, like you were saying.
exactly. Yep.
You had heartburn, and that could be anything. reflux. It could be lots of things. So with my mom, um, she has some changes in her stool. Some people have like stomach or back pain.
Mm.
I don't think she initially had that. Um, so they did, the typical diagnostic things like uh, endoscopy, take a
Mm.
look down there, at your internal organs to see what's going on. And they didn't initially pick up on it. So they said, oh, it could be anything. Your pancreas looks like maybe a little inflamed or a little angry or something, but they didn't initially just diagnose it. So it took going to a couple of different doctors to finally get the correct diagnosis. Um, but one thing she was very adamant about was telling us to advocate for yourself because what's normal for you. Like doctors
Right.
see people all the time. They've been trained, to look at certain symptoms and to tell you, you probably have this or that. But even if there's something out of the ordinary for you, make sure you are persistent with your doctors and you advocate and say, well, no, I think you need to keep looking. And if they don't want to keep looking, go
Go
to
to-
another doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is crazy how different the symptoms can be, like, per person, because um my brother-in-law also had pancreatic cancer, and his were nothing like my dad's. So I didn't even recognize the signs, and I've already watched it happen to someone else, and I just didn't recognize it in him. So
Hmm.
hard.
Yeah, and some of the like the precursors that they say that people have for pancreatic cancer, that you're at a higher risk, is like smoking, drinking, and things like that, and things that my mom didn't do. So my mom was like you were saying, pretty much a picture of health. She wasn't on any daily medications. She wasn't under the doctor's care for anything. So really kind of just took us all by surprise. It's
Yeah.
not something at all that we were expecting.
Right.
So after she passed, I started thinking proactively about what I could do uh, for my health. But pancreatic cancer, there is no screening for it at this time. So for breast cancer, you can go and get a mammogram to try to screen for breast cancer. Prostate cancer, you can have prostate exams with your doctor. There's nothing out there for pancreatic cancer yet. So we're hoping that there is going to be something through research that comes along. But that's something that, since there's no screening for it, there you can do genetic testing. Um, that is an option, and they can look at your family history and also genetics and tell you if you may have a predisposition to that type of cancer. Um, Pancreatic cancer is also linked to, it's kind of like in the family with a couple of others. So you might be predisposed to pancreatic and a couple of others, depending on what your gene pool looks like. Um, in the comments, if you know somebody who passed from pancreatic cancer or was diagnosed at any point, what are some of the symptoms that they had? Because they vary and they're really wide ranging. So I see there's changes in your stool or looser stools. Sometimes it's discoloration of your stools. Like I said, you can have like stomach pain or back pain. Back pain is something that a lot of people have, and you may not think, oh, well, this could be that. Um, but if there's something, a pain or something abnormal that's going on with you that's persisting, um, please don't be talked out of looking into it. Uh, Discomfort when eating, yes, that's one also. So treatment wise, for my mom, she did chemo, she did radiation. She also did a had a surgery called the Whipple procedure. I don't know. Did you hear about that when your dad was
No, I
okay?
don't think so.
Because everybody's not eligible for it.
Hmm.
I think you have to be kind of at a certain stage in the process. But when my mom was diagnosed, she was actually diagnosed at stage 2, which is
Oh, wow.
really
Yeah.
rare. Because most people who are diagnosed are at stage 4
Yeah.
at diagnosis. Um, so like you said, when your dad kind of was hopeful when they were telling him he had a rare kind and he might live years, we've heard that it was stage 2. We're like, oh, okay,
Yeah. Like we caught it early enough. Yeah.
yeah, like we caught it early enough. Um, but when she did really well with the chemo, when it came to the surgery, it kind of seems like things kind of took a turn after having the surgery. So the Whipple procedure is it's a very intense surgery. So they're basically rerouting your entire digestive system.
Wow.
Yes, they're like snipping and reconnecting and
Wow.
all kind of thing. I think you lose a good portion of your intestines during the surgery. Um, so after you come out of that, you're not able to eat as much
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. Linda says unusual fatigue.
That's my
Yes.
mom.
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Aaron's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of different treatment options that are available for certain people, and some are not available. So one thing, what have you, since your dad has passed, is there something that you do in honor of him, or do you have a similar like or interest that your dad had?
Yeah. So actually, he was the original photo nerd in my family, photography nerd. And I always tell this story, but when he passed away, he left behind his camera, and it sat on my dresser untouched for maybe, I don't know, like, I guess it was probably like 7 years. And I just looked at it because I thought I could never know how to do this. And then when my daughter was born, I it was like the motivation I needed to like dust it off and um try to my friend Alyssa sat down and like showed me how to do it because I always thought it's like super complicated, and it is. I mean, there's a lot of things that you have to figure out how to do, but so his camera is what his old camera, it still had his last pictures on the memory card when I turned it
Oh,
on.
wow.
So
Wow.
his camera was what I learned to take pictures on, and so now I do photography as like a job and stuff, and it's been a really good thing for my life and stuff. But yeah, I started out just taking pictures of my daughter, and so it's grown into um, more of like a business, I guess.
More of like an empire, Aaron. An
You're
empire.
saying empire to me. I like that. I'm gonna start saying empire.
Yes. So we're going to show a couple of Aaron's photography masterpieces.
One I
So,
didn't take. The water one someone took of me. That was my
oh, okay. Okay. We'll put them up and we'll talk about them. So, our producer's going to put them up. Here they come. Look at this, guys.
I took the one on the right. That's in the water.
Yes. So, Aaron is the one in the water swirling around in a ball gown
They
for the
asked me for a
photo.
headshot, and I was like, "Can I use it?" And so then they kept, using it. But yeah, my friend
Right.
Paige, who's amazing, she does underwater photography and all kinds of cool stuff, and so I got to try that out, and it was really neat. And then that's my friend Sarah that models for me all the time, and we those images were published in a pretty big magazine, or at least big to me, and so we were pretty excited about that. So it's been neat.
So, where are some of the places you've been published?
All over the world, in photography magazines, because a lot of people are like, I haven't heard of that one. Like, well, they're photography. You have to be in the photography world, but this one it's called the Portrait Project, and it has a pretty big reach. Has a reach of a couple million people. So that's like really mind blowing to me that like anybody would see my work, you know. Um, I've gotten some in like New York City and all over Europe. And for some reason, they like me in Canada. I always get I always get published in Canada, so I'm trying to like check off like all the cool cities that around the world. Like, oh, you know, I got one in Paris too, which made me feel really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is not like just something you do on the side. This is like real photography business.
My mom said she's proud of me.
Mommy is very proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, um, yeah, it's definitely turned into something where I get to be like a little more creative with the more like conceptual stuff. But I still love taking pictures of like families and stuff too. Just been really neat. I never thought I'd get to that point where I would take pictures of anything outside of like my own, you know, daughter and, you know, husband or something. So it's neat that like
Yeah.
people want me to take pictures of them. So
Yes, people do want you to take pictures of them. You've taken pictures of my family
yeah, that was
before
awesome.
in the park. They were amazing. Uh, our producer Ryan and his family, I know you've taken some pictures for them. Lots of people I know you've taken pictures for. So do you feel your dad's presence when you are doing photography, or do you feel different? Like how does that for you?
Yeah, so it's funny, my dad was into, nature photography, so he has, like I still have obviously all his stuff, but he has, like, all these binders of, like, photos of, like, butterflies, and it's really cute, so I always every time I see, like, a butterfly when I'm out, I think, "Oh, you know, my dad's here," like, he knows what's going on or, you know, um I just think of him. He loved certain places like the Cincinnati Nature Center, and he loved Sharon Woods. So anytime I do a shoot there, I think of him, and you know, I kind of feel like he's there. So, so yeah, that's been neat.
That's awesome. So Elaine is asking, I think she's asking, is photography your passion? I think that's what she's asking.
Yeah, I definitely feel like um, I would say I'm very passionate about it. And I kind of feel like even though I just started taking pictures now, I think it's kind of always been something that I've loved because I always was that kid that had those like wind up cameras, you know, that you would
Mm-hmm.
like take with you and like drop them off and you had no idea what you got until you picked up your prints. You know, I had those like
Yeah.
all my life and I love to take pictures. And they weren't good pictures, but I still loved taking them. I mean, I would take pictures like my Barbies and stuff, you know, like set them up.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, I just think, yeah, and my dad and my great uncle as well. They really loved that stuff, so they kind of like put it in me, I guess, in the beginning to like think of it as like a really cool thing to do, I guess.
Yeah. So I think I remember this. Horses. Aren't there
Yeah.
horses involved
Yeah.
somehow?
Yeah, so my dad had a bunch of like very interesting hobbies and before I was born, he really got into like horseback riding. I think he started with polo, you know, and then turned into like competitive dressage, which is I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like when they like learn like routines and stuff and he
Oh.
loved all that and so when I was so I had well he was alive I always had a horse, you know, and he that was like a really great thing for him because um he had like a great community around him but also just how being with animals is so like good for you and stuff. So it was so hard when he passed away, even for my horse, because they had that bond. It broke my heart, and she actually passed away pretty closely after he did. And I just feel like it was one of those
Oh.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but because that was like but
Right.
yeah. So he did horseback riding, and then he also was really into like um paleontology and like he loved fossil collecting that kind of stuff and we have some funny stuff from. He also was really into history, so we had some archaeological type things in the house that we found that were like, oh, okay, didn't know we had this in the house. So we have some things from like Egyptian tombs and stuff that he got somewhere, and we're like, okay, but yeah, because
Wow.
yeah, so
Wow.
yeah,
So let's take a look at a picture. We have a picture of you and your dad.
very current picture.
A very current picture. Here it comes. Here it comes.
There I am. I mean, that was like
Aww.
that was at the zoo, I think, Cincinnati Zoo.
So cute.
Still have that face.
No, that's Adela's face. That's Adela's face.
Yeah, for sure.
You look like your dad. I haven't seen your mom though, so
Yeah, I
maybe I'm
actually
not.
think that I look more like him, and I think Adela looks like me. So we're just kind of. I see a lot of him in her. I'm like, oh, you look like my dad.
Right. That's cool. So for me, so you had photography. So for me, when my mom passed, we as a family were trying to think about, what could we do to, further her legacy or, something like that. And we came up, we had a checklist of like some really corny ideas. We checked those off really quick. Like, and don't take offense if you've done this, but like a scholarship fund, just really normal things. And we were like, that's cool, but that's kind of boring. So Champion Girl Productions actually came from at my mom's funeral. Her sister, who they were really close in age and really tight, so everything they did as when they were kids, they kind of did together.
Oh,
So they would go through the neighborhood and do all these daring activities and jump off of roofs and things like that. And they would call themselves Champion Girls.
oh,
So I didn't know this until my aunt was speaking. So then we had that in our head. We're like, oh, Champion Girl, Champion Girls. So Champion Girl Productions was formed, and my mom was a playwright, which some people may not have known. She
that's
wrote a
amazing.
play. Yeah, so she wrote a play. She was always really into the arts. She did sign language. Um, don't tell anybody, but she liked to sing, but don't really think that was her thing. You've asked her siblings, they're like, I don't know why she's up there singing. So for me, and we could show a couple of pictures while I'm talking, but so for me, I am a singer, um, but I've never wanted to put myself out there online singing songs every Monday, which is what I do on this page. Um, you can call it fear of rejection, fear of like what people think about what, because the internet, they give you thumbs up or thumbs down. They give you a good comment or a bad comment. I liked it, I hated it. That was good, that was terrible. So for me, that was really me pushing myself out there because I know that's something that she saw in me. So really taking that strength and that motivation from her, knowing she really believed in me as far as that. So I'm just gonna put myself out there and do it. So, oh, we have a comment. I think it's from my dad. He says Marilyn got my mom to lead a song at church. Marilyn is our minister of music at church. Yes. So I remember we would go to choir rehearsal for church, and she was one of those people who she would be on whatever key the person next to her was singing. It didn't matter if she was supposed to be singing harmony and staying on her note. It did not happen. So I encouraged her. I said, you know what? It doesn't come as easy to everybody, singing, stay on your note. So why don't you start recording, record rehearsal, bring a tape recorder or whatever. So, you can practice more at home. And she said, well, Well, at least I'm singing for the right reasons and from my heart. And some people can sing really well and their heart's not right. I said, okay, but you still need to practice, Mom. Still need to practice. So,
All of it.
oh,
I told her
my.
she could sing.
That's my aunt. This is the other champion girl, Daphne
Aw.
Bradley. I told her she couldn't sing. That is very true. This is her own sister. Told her she couldn't sing. She kept right on at it. So this now all my aunts are jumping in here. Um, so for me, that's something that we did, and one of the plays that she had written a long time ago, we brought it back a couple of years ago and did a whole live production of it in Cincinnati. And her family from different states came to watch it. It was a great time. Um, but even from me, just stepping out into uncharted waters and territories, I feel like, she's with me and I'm doing things that she would approve of. Maybe she's up in heaven saying, "Hey, God, let her get a couple of likes on this video or something." So, for me, I think everybody can find something. I think you don't have to do something extraordinary, but if there's something that can help you, um, do something positive with that energy and those emotions that you have, um, regarding your grief or whatever that is, and that looks different for everybody. Um, find something to do with that. So pancreatic cancer, they have a walk and it's called Purple Stride. So just like breast cancer awareness, they have walks and what's the one for the heart? I can't remember. Um, every disease has a walk or something.
Yeah.
So pancreatic cancer's walk is called Purple Stride. And previously, different cities did their walks on different days. So you would sign up for a walk in your city or a city near you that you wanted to travel to and join the walk. For 2022, they're doing it differently. So last year, because of COVID, they did not have the big walks, but they encouraged people to do walks on their own and form teams and kind of get out and do it on their own. But they're bringing back the big walks in 2022. And one really cool thing they're doing this year is they're having the walk in every city on the same day. So it's going to be on April the 30th. So go to Purple Stride, look up Purple Stride on the pancreatic cancer awareness site, and find a walk in your city. Tell your family that live in different cities. You all can be doing the same thing separately but together by doing a walk together. So walk, run, jog, combination of all three. If you don't want to do any of those, you can volunteer at the site. They have booths, they can hand out t-shirts. There's all kinds of things you can do. But I found it's a really enlightening day because you're at an event where everybody understands
Yeah.
what everybody is going through. And
Yeah.
there's also survivors who are there who have survived for several years past diagnosis. There's people who are currently in treatment that are there. So it's just a really good event. If you want to sign up to be on our team, we do have a virtual team. And the name of that team is Champion Girl Magic. Champion Girl Magic. So if you go to sign up for Purple Stride, you can sign up for our team. We'll be happy to have you. The color for the day is purple. There's a sea of purple that day. Purple shirts, purple makeup, purple streamers, pom poms. It's purple everywhere.
Color.
Yeah, it's a good color. So Cincinnati, you can come meet up with us in person. It'll be downtown. It's always downtown. But every major city, there should be one. April 30th, 2022. I see Adelia in the comments. Adelia is one of my friends, and she has done the walk with me probably every year that I've done it, I believe. We've done it in the rain, we've done it in the sunshine. So it's a really good time. Um, in the comments, do you guys have any questions for Erin or me? You can ask her about photography, about Disney. We could talk about our dad and mom. Um, do you know anybody who's going through treatment right now, or have you had a family member go through it and you're still not really sure what to do with your emotions, or how to channel that into something more positive for you? Just let us know in the comments.
My uncle, my mom's brother, is diagnosed now. We're going through it again.
Okay. We're definitely praying for him, and there's a lot of progress being made
Yeah.
uh, right now, as far as research and treatment and research dollars from Washington, focusing on this type of cancer, because there shouldn't be any type of cancer with such a low survival rate
Yeah.
in this country or in this world. Um,
I
we want
think
to.
oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think I heard that pancreatic cancer is one of the least like funded type for research
Yes.
cancers. Like
Hmm.
most of the one that gets like all the funding and a lot of the support is actually breast cancer, which is
Yeah.
the most survivable cancer that you can
Yeah.
get actually. So it's kind of weird that um, the one that really needs the research is getting the least amount. And a lot of it people think is just because of how like um it's not in people's like awareness as much.
Right. And
Um,
then and then recently, with all the celebrities who have had it recently, I think it's more in the forefront now of people's minds. Like, oh, people do get pancreatic cancer. Maybe we
yeah,
should do something about that.
right. Yeah, exactly.
So we
Um,
got a question here for you, Erin. Um, we have two questions for you. How long did your dad do chemo? And then we'll talk about photography questions.
okay. Yeah, so actually my dad did not do chemo. Um,
Okay.
he um he did not want to have to go through that. He felt like he was already like had lived his life and he didn't want to be sick, because a lot of times people feel
Yeah.
very sick. So he did do radiation, but he didn't do any chemo. So,
Okay.
yeah. Um, let's see. Uh,
That's a great comment about your uncle. Your mom said he had the Whipple surgery with no chemo, and he's doing well. He's doing really good. And his was caught early, stage 2. So we're happy about that.
definitely nice that, you know, since I've known many people with pancreatic in my life, important people, I feel like it's nice to see an instance where there's like hope, because sometimes it feels
Yeah.
like there's not. Um,
Right.
yeah. I had a close friend, I was telling Andrea, I had a close friend who got diagnosed and it just killed me to see it happen again. And this was a man that was like a father figure to me. So I'm like, man, I just it's such a cruel cancer, and you know uh, I like that you're doing what you can to bring awareness and try to get support for families and people that are dealing with that. But um, so yeah.
So somebody wants us to go over the symptoms again really quickly. So I can just name a couple. I don't have a comprehensive list in front of me, and then Erin, you can chime in if you have more. Uh, a severe back pain, severe stomach pain, change in your stools, either the color or the consistency. Um, Can you
My
think of
dad
any
lost
more?
a ton of weight, and I don't know if that was just cancer in general, but he was
Yeah.
very thin. Yeah.
Unexplained weight loss, trouble eating, or not having the desire to eat as much.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, photography. We had a photography question. What is the favorite shoot you ever did, or the favorite set of pictures?
Oh man. Well, I every time I'm like, this is my favorite. One of the ones that was really special to me was my friend and I went to this ice waterfall this winter, and um, we it was absolutely treacherous to get to, and we had to actually like sit down on our butts and slide down this hill to get to it because you couldn't stand or walk. So I'd like my camera and all my lenses, everything on my bag, and I was like sliding down this hill to get to it. And but the pictures were absolutely amazing, and we made the cover of a magazine with it and got interviewed and stuff. So it was definitely, the payoff was worth it. But just by how special the circumstance was really,
Yeah,
really cool for me. But I love so many of the ones that I've done, and I've been really lucky to have those opportunities.
definitely. So you guys, you need to follow Erin's photography page on
Mhm.
all social media. Is it
Um,
every?
so on Instagram, it's Stellina Photography, which is spelled Stellina. I named it that because Selena means little star, and I named it that when I thought I was only taking pictures of my child. And I thought about changing it since then, but people know it as that, so I haven't ever changed it. And then,
Right.
oh yeah, that's yeah. And then on Facebook, it's Selena Fine Art Photography, but you know, I use Instagram a lot more. I don't use the Facebook one very much, but yeah,
I'm
cool.
trying to make the transition. I know people are leaning more towards Instagram nowadays than
But
Facebook. It's
yeah,
hard transition, and that's
yeah.
all you know. I'm
A lot of
trying to
people use
use
Twitter,
them
and
all.
I haven't been able to really get into that one yet.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Question. I think, well, there was one for me. Is there a Music Monday video that makes me feel close to my mom? I don't know. So probably a lot of them. So a lot of the songs that I will do might be like older, and I say older songs that she would have played for me in the car as a child. So even though my dad, out of my parents, my dad is a singer, my mom wasn't, but I learned most of the music that I knew from my mom. So she's the one who played the music in the car, the old gospel groups like the Winans and um, Walter Hawkins, like all of these people. And people think at my age that I shouldn't know. Like, how do you even know about these people? I learned it from my mom. So I think when I do songs like that, I know where I got them from. It's from my mom. She also was a good time. So she didn't just know gospel music. Newsflash, she was the first lady. My dad's a pastor, but she didn't just know gospel music. So all the music from her era, I'll do some of those too. Um, Songs that her sisters and brothers probably would have danced to in the house growing up. She liked to dance. Be What are the old dances like the okay, Aaron, you might not know about this. This might just be a black thing. I don't know. Uh, the mashed potatoes, the bump, the four corners. I know you all know about that. Some of my aunts in the comments. Okay, we've got a comment here, a hopeful comment from my aunt Laura Taylor. A former coworker had pancreatic cancer over 12 years ago and is doing well. I don't know all the details, but she said the doctor said it was miraculous because it was contained in a sac in her pancreas. Wow. She made lifestyle changes, but is still alive. There is hope. That is a great, great inspirational comment.
Yeah.
12 years. 12 years being diagnosed with this cancer is like several lifetimes.
Yeah.
Several lifetimes. So it's miraculous. We're so glad that it was caught and contained in the area that it was. And, we're working so that we can get more, hear about more success stories like that, because there is going to hopefully be better treatment, better diagnostic tools in the future. So, we don't want to end this conversation gloom and doom, saying that if you get this cancer, you're going to die. You know, by God's divine favor, maybe that's not going to be true. So we have to keep hoping and working, not just hoping, but working to raise money for research, and that's what the Purple Stride Walk does. So the fees that are paid by the walkers or runners, that money is going towards research, and they have a slogan, and it's wage hope. So we need to wage hope so that people can be hopeful and be able to fight this disease. So, Aaron, you have any final thoughts? Any final questions in the comments? This was a really good conversation um, from different points of view. We've had similar experiences, but different experiences.
Yep.
We can experience the same thing a lot of different ways. So let's just wrap for today. And we're so glad that you all taking some time out of your cooking schedule, because I know some of you are prepping for Thanksgiving already. So don't hurt yourselves and enjoy your holiday. Follow us on all social media, Champion Girl Productions on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and did I miss one? YouTube. We put out a cover song every Monday, Music Monday, and we're going to start having these champion chat conversations about different topics once a month. So if you have some topics you'd like for us to talk about and have a guest on, let us know in the comments. We do have some topics ready to go, but if there's something you want us to talk about, please let us know, because there's so many things that we all go through, and we can all help each other with different perspectives. All right. Want to thank everybody for watching, and we will check you out next time.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Erin.